try to take a recipe that would be common enough where people can relate to it in some way, but put a spin on it. And that's actually what the name A Spicy Perspective is all about. It's not necessarily about spicy recipes, but it's about, you know, a spicy personality going into those recipes and creating something that's unique and different. We are here in my house in Asheville, North Carolina. It is the beginning of fall and it's beautiful outside. People come to Asheville from all over the place to experience the fall foliage. Well, KitchenAid challenged me to use an ingredient in an unusual way for this Cobb salad. And so, you know, there's so much sweet corn in the grocery stores and the farmers markets right now that I wanted to incorporate that into the dressing. And so pureeing it is a great way to get all of that flavor and sweetness and to get a really nice smooth texture from the corn. You know, I'm thrilled to have new KitchenAid appliances in my kitchen and also on my countertops. You know, we've gone through blenders and this is definitely one that has some lasting power. It blends extremely smoothly. The jar hooks onto the base in a way that it's not going to rattle off. So it's a great blender. So we are standing here in my kitchen and we are getting ready to make a harvest Cobb salad out of some of the leftovers that we've created this week. We've actually had some friends in town and so we've been cooking for 8 instead of cooking for 4. So I'm going to use some of the things up in a new and interesting way. I'm going to chop up some romaine lettuce. I've got some chicken that I had on the grill earlier this week. I've got some leftover butternut squash that was roasted up. And I also have some bacon that we made for breakfast. I had to kind of fight to save a few pieces for tonight's dinner, but I was able to do it. And then last but not least, I've got a few hard-boiled eggs. So now we're gonna make some quick spiced pecans to put on top of the Cobb salad. So I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon of butter in a hot skillet. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt and some ground mustard that just gives it a little bit of tangy flavor, a little bit of garlic powder, and then some hot smoked paprika. And then we will just mix these around. It smells amazing. And that's pretty much it. Now it's time to go and make the dressing. So I just got the corn off the grill. I went ahead and left the husks on the corn. A lot of times when I grill corn, I take the husks off because I want to have those nice char marks. But for this dressing, I wanted the skins on the kernels of corn to be really tender. So this is the pepper that we roasted earlier. We want to let it steam for about 5 to 10 minutes. And what that does is it loosens up the skin so that the papery skin on the outside just peels right off. So I'm gonna take 1 garlic clove. I've got a couple limes. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of ground cumin and a little bit of salt. Yeah, it's great making a dressing in the blender because you don't have to chop a lot. It really does all the work for you. Okay, once everything is chopped, I'm gonna add in some olive oil. And I'd say that's about 2/3 of a cup. And that really provides enough fat to the mixture to create a really, really creamy, thick texture. I love to have a challenge. A lot of times a good challenge is really inspiring to a cook. You know, my husband teases me that some of my most creative meals are the meal that I cook the day before I go to the grocery store when there's not a whole lot left in the fridge. But what I find is that since my fridge is so great at keeping my food fresh, even those last little bits of things that are in there are great to work with. If you have a good quality fridge and you store your food well, it makes your ingredients last a lot longer.